Good evening. We are live. We are live, and I'm still waiting on furniture to get delivered for here. What about that Reo Hatate? Just make sure that's sound. Right, that's fine. What about the Reo Hatate news this evening? Absolutely fantastic. Need a hand for that one. Right, there is just a few folk online. I am a bit later than normal, so we'll see how many people we get online due to the fact it is Friday night also, so we're not expecting a lot of people on, but let's get a few folk on. I actually go on to Twitter and give me 2 seconds. I'll just share this. See if we can get some of the troops online from Twitterland. Also, and we'll talk about the importance of the Celtic news this evening, the importance of that Reo Hatate deal for Celtic, because let's face it, that is a massive, massive deal for Celtic to get done, and especially for a 5-year deal. Do you know what Brendan Rodgers says? I've had some great discussions with him in recent weeks. I know he loves the club. I know he loves the supporters and how ambitious he is to bring more success to the club. Rio says, I love playing for Celtic in front of the best fans around. I hope we have more success. What it does do is we'll get to the comments first, and then we'll go back to there's 33 people online. Yes, find it under your last video about it. Yeah, another great. Let's get to some of the news and then tell me in the comments where you're coming from, where you're watching from tonight. Paul Emery was first up. Hoyle Troops. Paul Emery, great news about Rio. Get O'Reilly tied up. That news. O'Reilly will be tied up next. Gareth is in Bedfordshire. Sam Max in the house. Yes, find it under your last video. Yeah, I've seen that. I have been out. He'll buzz from Barlin jail. This is Michael Sinclair, Monhouse is Slaven. Stuart, brilliant news for Reo Hatate. Says Stuart Helen, great news for Reo. Brilliant. Reo is the driving force. Whale Troops, Paul Hardy, brilliant news for the club. Belfast, I'm watching from Tasmania. Tasmania, you're watching from Tasmania tonight. Jesus, you're getting about. Just catch up with that. Yeah, so let's see. I mean, let's go through the news. And for me, it is one of the bits of news that was it was a deal that we needed to get done. It was Reo Hatate has been when he's on form. When he's on form, he's absolutely fantastic. Brendan Rodgers said he is a huge talent. He's an exciting player with great attributes. He's someone who could change a game. I know he's the type of main player who doesn't want to rest. He's hungry to improve every day, to achieve more, and to be the very best he can be, says Brendan Rodgers. Celtic is a great place for him to do this. We go forward together now with real confidence. I really look forward to continuing to work with him and the rest of the squad and all the challenges we face ahead, says Brendan Rodgers. Hatate added, he says, "I had the best welcome ever since joining the club. I want to thank all our fans and the support who continue to give us all." When you think about it, right, I'm going to play devil's advocate here, but what it does do also, let's just change lights. If Hatate signing for 5 years, it means that if anyone comes in for him, they need to pay a massive fee for Reo Hatate. And one message I got earlier about when I was out, uh, um, and this is a total devil's advocate. I could see Ange paying 30 million plus for him. Will Ange Postecoglou now come in? If look, Ange Postecoglou doesn't want to come in and get his man, it is going to cost him the upper part of 30 million to get him in. Celtic getting Rio on a 5-year deal is a fantastic piece of business. Hatate is a 40 million player after our Champions and Europa campaign this year. I certainly hope so. Getting him on that kind of deal, just make sure that we get top dollar from him. If anyone wants to come in and get Hatate, you've got to think. I mean, Jota went for 25 million. He's now not able to play any football. Has Brendan Rodgers said to the players, look what happened to Jota. He left to chase the money, and he's now not even playing football. Well, has Brendan said, look, you've got the chance to play in the Champions League this year. If we win the league this year, you've got the chance to play in the Champions League again. That's the level of performance and the persuasion that is all you need. You know, Matt O'Reilly turned down the move to Leeds, which is fantastic. I mean, if you watched the video this morning, you understood Brendan has said that him and Nicholson both spoke to Matt O'Reilly and said, "Look, this is where you can improve more here. You'll get a bigger move for more money a few years down the line." And that's what it's all about. If Celtic can maximise the revenue from a player, you don't need to sell one or two players a year. You only sell one player. You sell one player at 40 million, and then we get 40 odd million for the Champions League. Say we were to sell him next summer. Okay, sell him next summer, and Ange comes in and goes, right, there's 35 million for him. Take it or leave it. Celtic then take the money. I think they will. But then it's down to the player. The fact that the player himself has said, I mean, this is Reo Hatate's own words. Um, he says, "I love playing in front of the best fans around. I hope we can have more and more success together." Is that a player that's trying to get out the door? I don't think so. I don't think so. And like Rogers said, he says we go together, we now go forwards with real confidence. Brendan Rodgers is basically building the core of a team. He did this the first time that he came into Celtic, Brendan. He put a lot of players on bigger contracts. He put a lot of players on extended contracts, and he gave them wage rises. And a lot of people were giving them sticks here on the side-to-side passing football. That seems to have stopped. Securing the core of a team for the next 3 or 4 years is absolutely paramount for the success that we hope that we're going to have. It does all going to come down to his legacy now. Brendan Rodgers will come down to what he does in Europe. Anything that we get in Europe this year is probably going to be a bonus, but it will come down to next year. We'll have to see a massive improvement in the European results. This year, we take anything and it's a complete bonus. Finishing third, I still think is achievable in this group. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard, but Reo Hatate being in there, the buzz that will give him, and the buzz that will give Reo Hatate and the other players, interesting comment from Aidan Baz. That length of contract will have a buyout clause for sure. I bet the buyout clause is 30 million. 25 million. It has to be a minimum. If we could sell Jota for 25 million with no buyout clause, the buyout clause has to be between 25 and 30 million. Aidan, I'm sure of that. The answer is evening. Alan says, the man from Japan, yes, that's a good team. People keep money. That is. Right, let me see what other headlines is kicking about, because obviously that is massive news. Everyone's going to be talking about it. It's just unbelievable that we got him on such a long-term deal, and it does what it says in the tin. It protects our asset. It protects the asset, it protects the investment, and makes sure that Celtic, getting him tied up on a 5-year deal, it shows you how much Celtic rate him, and it shows you, if anyone wants to come in for Reo Hatate now, it's going to cost them top dollar. Even if there is, he's 25-year-old, 5-year deal takes him to his 30, right? It's for me, it puts down a mark. Has Brendan Rodgers finally got the board to put down a marker and say, right, this is the type of player that we want to attract to Celtic. This is the level of player that we want to keep here. It's all about improving the rest of the squad to get them up to that level. Because I tell you one thing, if we can get the players up to the similar level that Reo Hatate, it's going to be unbelievable. And we can then start to dream. We know touch wood. We hope that we're going to win the league this year. We're in front just now. It would be a monumental disaster if we did not win the league this season. Because let's face it, there's nobody in the league that can touch our squad. Now that we've got players coming back, You've got Phillips who's in the squad for tomorrow. It's fantastic news. Come October, come a month away, 4 weeks away. You know, Brendan seems to think O'Reilly is away. Not a chance. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. O'Reilly will go in a few years, but O'Reilly will sign a new deal. If O'Reilly was going to go, he would have went in the summer to Leeds. So there's no way that O'Reilly will go. O'Reilly will be the next one to sign the new deal. Um, if we can keep this squad together for 2 years, we can achieve something in Europe. We have to be able to achieve something in Europe. And by saying by achieving something, just getting past Europe, past Christmas in Europe, would be an achievement for me the next 2 years. Next 2 years. And if Brendan, if he's put down a marker and said to the board, look, we need to build around the likes of Reo Hatate, it's going to be exciting times, because it's going to be absolutely amazing. Reo Hatate has every attribute to become a top player. He could go down south and he could go on 100 grand a week just like that. He's that good a player when he's on his team. A lot of people are going to say, "Oh, look, his passing's terrible and everything." Look at something. Let's be realistic about it, right? Let's be really realistic about it. It's a brilliant piece of business, right? It's a fantastic piece of business. He had a stop-start season. When he came in and he scored that absolute screamer against Sevco, everyone knew then it was a player. Everyone knew there. This deal just makes sure that Celtic gets as much money as they can. Now, people are going to say, Celtic won't sign any money. Peter Lawwell will be happy. Desmond will be happy. Dermot will be happy. But Celtic need to offload it. If Celtic sell him within 2 years, he's still got 3 years left on his contract. Surely, even in 2 years' time, getting £15 million for the player would be a fantastic piece of business. If we sell him this summer, somebody's going to have to go and spend crazy amounts of money because he's on a 5-year contract. If we sell him next summer, nobody's going to come in surely now and try and make a move for him the winter window. Modern day midfield players like him, they're hard to come by. He's a complete athlete. Tell me what you think in the comments. Let's get the comments up. And like the video for the Barlini boys. It's going to be righteous bad. It gives us updates. Anyway, January, unfortunately, Riley will be away. Nah, no. I don't think so. I don't think so personally. Not a chance. Not a chance. O'Reilly knows that he can go down south. But Brendan said the other day, he said, look, we had talks with Matt O'Reilly. He could have went down south and tripled his wages to Leeds. He could have forced the issue. Brendan Rodgers says he could have forced the issue and said, I want to go. I want to go. I want to make that money. Look what Jota did. You know what? I'm going to take the cash. I'm going to take the cash. Matt O'Reilly could have went down to Leeds. He's not playing at the top level. He could have made more money. But as a football player, sometimes there are football players out there that want to achieve things rather than just make money. Scott Brown used to say it. I spoke about this many times on this channel. Scott Brown used to say it. He said he wants to sit back at the end of his day. And if you've seen Scott Brown's Instagram, he's seemingly back in training. And he cheekily put the comeback is on his Instagram this afternoon. But I thought it was quite funny. I mean, you look at players like Scott Brown. Scott Brown says you can get to your end of your career, and I would rather have a cabinet full of medals and memories of winning things than moving to get a big payday for 2 or 3 years down south. Matt O'Reilly's a clever guy. He will move when he gets the right offer, the right club, the right league, and it's the right time in his career. You've got to remember, it was only 3 seasons ago Matt O'Reilly was basically without a club. He left Fulham and went to MK Dons. And just to get a game on an ongoing basis. So anyway, right, let's get back to some of the comments. It says no doubt about Rodgers. Tomori will get into the Danish senior squad. Yes, exactly. And he did speak to the manager. He admitted that he'd been speaking to the Danish manager. And if O'Reilly keeps on doing it in the Champions League, of course he's going to walk out the Danish squad. Of course he is. 5-year contract. That's awesome. Jeff, it is an absolutely fantastic piece of business. Getting him tied up on a 5-year deal. is one of Nicholson. We've got to say, right? We've got to say this. I am one, for one, I've given Lowell masses amount of stick over the years, masses amount of stick on Twitter and on other platforms, and rightly so sometimes, rightly so. And especially when it comes to the dealings with the Green Brigade and stuff, I think he just gets his hands too dirty sometimes. But Nicholson, Michael Nicholson, got my heart to you tonight, sir. You, Michael Nicholson, it has to be said, has taken Celtic to the next level. Tying up deals, players like Hatate or long-term deals like that is just it's fantastic. There's no way would Lawwell have convinced them. Not a way. Not a way. Slade says, I put my house on signing another contract. Uh, not signing another contract is in high demand. You're, I'm going to call you slavering tonight. You're slavering. Absolutely slavering. My sister and brother, on my birthday, took it. Perfect. Jeffrey says, yeah, he's made a huge difference. Nicholson has made some impact. And I think the only disappointing thing that Nicholson and our owner will have in the last 6 months will be the fact that they offered Ange an unbelievable contract, and believed in his vision. And but that's the past. That's the past. We've been blessed with some players, and let's face it, Ange Postecoglou also brought in some players that were absolutely rank rotten. And no, you can't say that James McCarthy was one of them, because James McCarthy, I don't think, was an Ange Postecoglou signing. Maybe Atletico Madrid will pay 28 Morelos. By the way, Morelos has seemingly got a new deal. Anyway, I know we'll talk about him. He's already signed him. Look, Tam, I'm with you. Matt O'Reilly will sign a new contract. Slag an Irish name. Go for it. When you come out with comments like that, with absolutely no substance behind it, of course I'm going to say you're slavering. Anyway, Chilpel says, for Rio, it's all about paying him for what he's doing now. He deserves a pay rise. He does deserve a pay rise, Chilpel, but a 5-year contract? 5-year contract, that is, he didn't need to sign a 5-year contract. Any player could go, nah, I'm not signing a 5-year contract. I'll sign maybe a 3-year contract or a 2-year contract because I want to go and do something else. I would say black and I would. I think it's been a fantastic bit of business. John, how are you this evening? I know this is off subject, but what about the golf? I have no idea about golf. I have no idea about golf. I don't watch it. It's nothing I watch. Let's get back to some of the comments. O'Reilly is one of us. Hill says, Joseph, O'Reilly and Rio will be sold next year, the end of season, says Graham Hardy. Not a chance. Not a chance. Not a chance. If that was to happen, you'd be looking at a change of manager. I'll say that with conviction. If we were to sell those two players next year, it wouldn't surprise me if the manager was to walk. I don't think he'll walk, by the way. I think the manager will be here for the full 3-year term that he signed. But if we were to go and if we were to sell those players next summer, it wouldn't surprise me if Brendan Rodgers walks. It won't, because I have a good authority that he will be here for the 3 years. We have Rio for 1 or 2 more seasons. That's it. Jason, that is it. If we have him for 2 more seasons, right? He's still got 3 years left on his contract. He's going to be what, 27, 28? 27, 28? He's still got a good bit of level of football left in him. And if an English team comes in for him, it's still going to cost him 15 to 20 million at that point, because he will have proved all that Champions League experience also. Love the goal. Don't start. But we have Baz Forever, says Jason Lee. Yes, you do. Unfortunately. Beer time. Hang on, Peter. What did Peter say? Mark's relationship with Brendan could be better. Mark's relationship with Brendan is 1,000 times better than it was with Ange Postecoglou. And I think that's the real reason that Matt O'Reilly didn't go this summer. That is the real reason. We don't run down contracts. That's how they say it. Yes, something today. Exactly. We don't run down contracts. If there's any sniff that, I mean, if we sell him in 2 seasons, that's fine by me. It's fine by me. It's absolutely fine. It's fine by me. Getting him signed up on a 5-year contract. Michael Nicholson has, for me, he's just earned his bonus for this year with that deal alone. That deal alone. An interesting question of whether O'Reilly or Rio is better. Ooh, Jason Lee. Put that in the comments. I'll put that in the comments. Who is the better player, O'Reilly or Rio? I'm going to say, Jason, you have to look at this because O'Reilly's only 22 years old, right? So O'Reilly's still got a lot of improvement to do. Hatate, Hatate is 25. He's got some improvement in his game, and he will get better. But Matt O'Reilly could go way further past him. I think the time that Matt O'Reilly's 25, I think he'll be a I think he'll be a little bit. And there is the difference. You know, there is obviously the difference in the way that they play. Reo Hatate, for instance, isn't a box to box midfield player. It's where when you look at the way that Matt O'Reilly's developing as a player, it's turning into a bit like a young Scott Brown. You've got to remember when Scott Brown when he was that age, he was up in the box helping out the attackers, and then he was coming back and totally and defending. I think that's what Brendan Rodgers is trying to do with Matt O'Reilly, turn him into that type of player. Let's get to some of the comments. Paul Emery says O'Reilly for me. That's me. I'm going to go with O'Reilly for consistency, but Rio has something magic. Chalco says Matt O'Reilly is more handsome. Just realised the door was open. Matt O'Reilly is more handsome. Get that beer. Is that beer good, Bazzy Boy? You're on the hooch watching. You're on the hooch. You're on the hooch. Is that the free beer? I'd love to see Bruno back with us. Chill. I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's already said he wants to keep him doing his own thing. Hail, Baz and the boys and girls. O'Reilly, Jason Lee says, O'Reilly's the most handsome player in Scotland. Oh my goodness. Right, let's get back to see what some people are saying about the Reo Hatate deal. Let's see. Celtic deliver a massive Friday boost. It is a massive Friday boost. Brilliant seeing Celtic big strong back in training. Manager says, "Oh, this is an interesting one because this is coming out of Leeds. This is obviously talking about Matt O'Reilly. He could have left. Manager says he would have sold the player in one condition. 10 million dollars. Yeah, yeah, it's what we've said. And Brendan Rodgers said he would have let Matt O'Reilly leave in the summer had Matt O'Reilly expressed a desire to leave. And this is coming out of Leeds United News. .news. Rodgers speaking to the media before the trip to Motherwell and discussed the future of O'Reilly. And he said during the final 2 weeks of the window, there was a number of teams pursued Matt O'Reilly. And they also had the 10 million bid for O'Reilly from Leeds. Celtic rejected it. O'Reilly's now in talks in Celtic over a new deal. And that's coming out of that's Leeds United .news. It's just released that one. So as far as I'm concerned, O'Reilly will not be going anywhere. Leeds wanted him, but Brendan Rodgers made it less attractive for him. Leeds wanted him, and they were going to offer him 3 times the amount of wage he was on at Celtic. He could have 3 wages just to go to Leeds. The fact that O'Reilly didn't go to Leeds, what was that one about? Hatate will attack you. Yeah, well, that 10 million was a joke offer. It was, but for O'Reilly, and for a player that you've got to admit, last season he was a kind of up and down player, and people were saying, just sell him. He's 22-year-old, taking a 1.5 million player, and within a year and just a year and 6 months, turn him into a £10 million player. It's a fantastic piece of business. I tell you one thing: 6 years ago, Celtic would have bit their hand off. Celtic would have bit their hand off for 10 million. How many players did we let go down south for 10 million that cost more than Matt O'Reilly? So you've got to say hats off to Matt O'Reilly due to the fact that he didn't show a desire, as Brendan Rodgers said. He didn't show a desire to leave the club. Brendan Rodgers told him that he can turn him into a better player. He's obviously spoke to the Denmark coach also. He said, look, if you could stay here and if you could prove it in the Champions League, you only need to do it in the Champions League, and you're getting in the national squad. Do you know what I mean? For a 22-year-old player, you're going to stick around and prove yourself at the highest level, and you want to be doing that in the Champions League. Going to the league is never going to get you in the Champions League. Let's get to some of the comments. 32 years, easy, says Jamie Young. O'Reilly, I would rather have Matt O'Reilly than Hatate, to be honest. He's been poor this season. Hatate's been poor. Well, we can just talk about this all day long, but Hatate's been poor because if you ask me, his head was turned, thinking somebody was going to come in. But the way that he's been talking to the manager, and you've got to remember that it was Reo Hatate that said to Celtic, he said, I don't want to talk about transfer stuff just now. I don't want to talk about a new contract. Let's get the window done and dusted, and let's just concentrate on the football. That was the conversation that happened. We all took that as, yeah, maybe his head was turned. He's waiting on Ange to come back and put in a cheeky 15 million offering. Never happened. Anyway, let's get back to the comments. Lanky, before the season started, it said if Brendan can get Matt playing like Madison, we've got a player on our hands. Hence the reason. That's why he's getting a new contract. You're spot on again, Lanky. Great news about Rio. Hopefully, we can get Matt tied down. You deal with his loving his time at Celtic. Why would he leave? He's happy. Matt O'Reilly's not going to leave. Matt O'Reilly will not leave Celtic. Not this coming window or next summer. I could put this tinny beer on it. Right. O'Reilly has a back problem. Could be why he's staying. Says Joseph. I hope we keep Matt O'Reilly. He's too good to lose. T1 says, Rio's rusty, but will improve. Plays more. Rio's past and everything pre-season was absolutely abysmal. He didn't have the best of pre-seasons, and I think that now he's getting back into the game. Hence the reason that we had Turnbull play. Now you had lots of people saying, "Yes, Turnbull playing." Turnbull had a good pre-season, right? Turnbull's come in and he scored 3 goals. Rio wasn't playing at the high levels that we used to. Now that we've got this settled team, you've got the likes of Turnbull is going to struggle to get back into the team. It's as simple as that. Rio will end his game. Now he will up his game. Having Hatate and O'Reilly in the team will attract new players under Brendan Rodgers. I think that also. I think Brendan Rodgers is basically, if you remember when Neil Lennon won the league and he came over to the corner of 1-1-1 and he planked down the championship trophy, I think this is the moment that Michael Nicholson and Brendan Rodgers have just done the exact same thing. They've put down a marker, and that's the marker. They have today put down such a good marker for Celtic that it's going to be impossible for other teams to try and get close to us over the space of the season. Now, has that been a bit presumptuous? I don't think so. I think when we're on to our game as a club now going forward, I can't wait to get everyone comes back in October. The time that we get the players back in October, we're going to be some force, and I think we'll steamroller clubs from December through to March. I think we'll go on one of those fantastic runs where we gub teams left, right, and centre. Anyway, thank you, John. Can you see that? Stuart Ramsey said, "I'm glad you read that, Baz. Thought you fell out of me." Oh, Stuart, not at all. Not at all. I'm just trying to catch up with all the comments. Rio up his game. Rio's been a bit rusty. The thing is, we're 6 games into the season. We're 6 games into the season. We've had a makeshift defence. Basically, it's been a defensive crisis. We're sitting what are we, 11 goals to the good. At this point of the season, we're 11 goals to the good. Beach Boy said Celtic fans continually going about who we're one of the biggest clubs in the world, football team. And then the next talking about how much we could sell players for. What's that about building a team for 3 years? Beach Boys, I just said it. Brendan Rodgers and Michael Nicholson today did what Neil Lennon did a few years ago. When Neil Lennon won the league, he went up and the players all grabbed the trophy. Neil Lennon went up and he got the trophy off the stands, and then he did one thing, and he wanted to lay the trophy down in the corner. He laid down a marker, and he walked over to the corner and he placed the trophy in front of 111 and 110 sections at Celtic Park, and he left it there, and all the players left it there. Today, Michael Nicholson and Brendan Rodgers have done that with Reo Hatate. They've got Reo Hatate and went, boom, there's the standard of player that we want. There's the standard of player that we expect at the club. This is what we want from players. This is how you get your 5-year deal at Celtic. You know, you'll get an extent, you'll get a big, massive. I'd be interested to know what he's on because I bet he's on the best part of 40 odd grand a week. Easily. I bet he's on 45 grand a week. Easily. Absolutely easily. And I think hats off to Michael Nicholson um, and Rodgers. Because let's face it, it's been Rodgers that's been talking to him since pre-season, and Nicholson has been the one that's doing everything behind the scene. So, anyway, let's see what else you're saying in the comments. James says, glad Rio is staying, get CCV done, uh, and then it's a base to really build. Cameron Carter Vickers needs to get back fit and playing games before he gets a new contract. We all know how good he is. We need to get these other defenders up to the same level. Consistency is what Carter Vickers had. We're not going to see the complete Celtic vision team-wise until the end of October. You know, you're not going to see Brendan's ideal team until everyone's back fit. You've got Rocky still out for ages. You know, Welsh is still out. Welsh is going to have some part to play in that also. When you look at the players that we have out, we've got 3 defenders out. So you're never going to see the complete, full vision of what is Brendan Rodgers sees as his first pick. Not for a good few months yet. Don't give this Reo Hatate guy clearly one out. I didn't Reo Martin. Dear. Right, Jason Lee says, we have to accelerate our player training model. Lanky says the fans are worried about the lack of signings in the summer. I see things a bit different. Brendan's here was a bit longer. He would have had his players and trust in the process. He's now got 18 months lined up. He has that. Has anyone seen James McCarthy? No. In one word, if anyone sees James McCarthy, tell him that he can come out of this podcast anytime. Modern football economics, says Jason Lee, means most of our squad will be sold every 2 to 5 years. If we sell Reo Hatate in 2 years' time, that'll be a good bit of business. It'll be a good bit of business. Why didn't you say that out, Baz? Martin, why didn't you say what out? Type it again. Martin, there's that many comments coming in. Martin. Jesus, here's your comment. Don't get this Reo Hatate guy. The guy clearly wanted out, wasn't interested in a new deal, and our fans haven't seen this. I don't get you. And our fans haven't seen this. Shocking. Martin, I have no idea what you're talking about. Michael, what's going to happen with Jota Bars? Loads of speculations coming back. I can't see it. If he'll come back on I think he'll come back if they buy out his contract. If they buy out his contract, he knows that he can go back and he can come to Celtic and he'll get back into the team. No problem. And he'll come back to a place that he knows. Jota could probably go down. Ange Postecoglou might come in for him. Spurs might come in for him. But does he want to go down to Spurs and then sit on the bench and then not get a game? He wants to go and play football, Jota. And I think if he gets his contract tied up and released, you never know. You never know. Imagine getting Jota back in January for nothing. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. No chance he'll be anywhere near 40 a week. He was only on 10 when he signed from Japan. Calmack's on less than 40. Beach Boys, when Celtic got the offer in for Jota, had it in Jota's contract if they got any offer for Jota this summer and they refused it, his wages were going up to 45 grand a month. A month? A week, sorry. A week. 45 grand a week. So, is that right? Who knows? Who cares anymore? Who cares anymore? If anyone sees sees James Forrest, tell him he's sacked. Jota isn't ready for Spurs, says something today. Jota ain't coming here, says Tamak. He probably isn't, but people do like to have a little bit of speculation. Right, let's see what's going on in Twitter land. Let's just do this, and then let's see what some of the fans are. Explore. Who cares about that? Yes. No. Right. So we've had that little bit of like Leeds website talking about the fact that Matt O'Reilly had the offer for him, but his contract is not signed by January. Clubs across Europe for me could win. Right. Sky Sky Sports, they're the world's worst. Sky Sports is now saying that if a contract is not done for Matt O'Reilly come January, clubs from across Europe will make their move when the window reopens, although it remains to be seen if Leeds will do the same. Matt O'Reilly won't be going anywhere at Christmas time. That publication just loves to try and boost fake news. That's all I'm going to say about it. Right, let's get back to some of the comments. John says, you need some memorabilia in your new. John, I had furniture ordered and it didn't arrive. Typical Spain. Yes, I have plans, but like I said, the furniture, we had a massive problem with furniture. We went to pick it up and it was gone. It was gone. That's all I want to say. Hatate was also injured. Yes, it's true. McCarthy is taking. No offense, it isn't the problem. Anyway, what are you talking about? Seen some of the boys on Boo Radio last night. Lol. Ah, are you still doing that? Are you still doing that? And anyway, local paper misspelled his surname. And it was no catch me with that one. No catch me with that one. James says, since the spine of the team was built a few more man for a few years, nobody will touch us. I think so. Also, James, I think that the get some graffiti on the wall. Oh, chance. I've got an idea what I'm going to do, so don't worry. That will be sorted in the next couple of days. Where was that one? Yeah, James says the spine of our team has been built. We need a new. Right. Let's talk about the transfer window because what Brendan's done, he's come in and he's given players that were here under the last manager new extended contracts. Now, Brendan Rodgers done that the first time round, and he basically made sure that he had the basis of the team that went on to take us to 9 in a row. We only needed a left back, a goalkeeper, and maybe a striker. We got none of them during the last transfer window. Sniper rifle on the wall, bast. Camel would carry his wages. Right. When we look at the players that we needed in the last transfer window, although Celtic this afternoon did get a left back on a new contract, but he's 17-year-old. And if you missed the video for that, check out the video for this morning. We did get a left back on an extended contract, but he's only 17-year-old. If he's young enough, get him in the team, as far as I'm concerned. Definitely the keeper as soon as possible. Yes. Fraz was the last and get a brazen mullet head. No. I want Christmas as a new keeper, says Peter King. All I want for Christmas is a new goalkeeper. Right, let's shut down some of these windows. And big boost on a Friday. English Championship boss left blown away by inspired Celtic performance. Jota is a wasted talent. Jota's a wasted talent. Says this headline: three Celtic stars to make it into global wonder kids. And Seagrist. Seagrist. Here we go. Here's a site talking about Seagrist. So let's get up this Seagrist news. Seagrist underlying Celtic issue floated as pundit mystified by goalkeeper's exile. Oh, who's this? Who's even talking about him? I'm not even going to say the guy's name. Zombie. So the website Football Scotland's put out a blog saying that there must be an underlying issue with Benji Seagrist. Underlying issue surrounding Benji Seagrist XL. The service is somebody that doesn't watch anything about football and doesn't know that Celtic need a Scottish contingent for the Champions League. So that's that one just left. Get Jota out of your heat. I'm just reading headlines that are popping up on my screen. And I get a thing that pops up about anything to do with Celtic. Lindsay Green says Jason Lee, I'd love him back today. A lot of people saying they would love. I have a signed Neil Lennon captain's armband in a frame. I'll give you it when you're next home visiting Kev. Go on then, and I'll put that up on the wall behind you. I'll do that. I'll put that up on the wall. I've got. Listen, I can't even show you the shirts. I've got Celtic tops going all the way back to the original Bumblebee. I've got Umbro tops. So you're talking about the mid-90s. I should probably get them up on the wall. Seagrist is the second best keeper at Celtic. Fact, says Guitar Man. Yes, he maybe is. We don't know because we've never seen enough of him in the last couple of years. And that could have had an effect on his form. We don't know how he's playing in training. But we all know the reason that Benji Seagrist isn't the number two and Scott Bain is. We need a Scottish contingent for the European League formats. Right? For Europe, we have to have so many Scottish players. It is unfortunate that we don't have more outfield players. Because if we had more outfield players that were Scottish, we could pretty much guarantee that Scott Bain would have left the club by now and Benji Seagrist would be that number two. And Chilwell Barkas was washed. Was that Celtic kit was grown on me. I personally love it. I've seen it quite a few times in the pub and I'll probably buy it when I'm home in November. Martin Case says, evening folk, hail, hail. Tam Mack says, no chill, no. Says, if you sign Jota, this would be in Meltdown. The last Celtic top release should have been our top. Yes, having this limited edition top stuff when that should have been the top for the season. Trouble says, Jason, everyone went away and wore it in Rotterdam. Who's all gone to Lazio and who is all going to Madrid? Ben Doak could have been one of our homegrown. However, Ben, Ben Doak wanted away. He wanted away. You know, Ben was nervous the last week. Ben, for me, has been nervous for the last 6 years. Ben should honestly, after the videos, you go back towards the end of the last season, and I thought Ben would be one of the players before he signed that new contract right at the end of the season. I thought Scott Bain would leave Celtics to go and play full-time football. Because let's face it, he's got money for nothing over the past 4 years at Celtic. And I thought he would want to go and just play football. With that being said, because of the whole new European thing, we know why Bain is there. If we can, is there another Scottish keeper that we can go in that is as good as Joe Hart? Because let's face it, Joe Hart's the best we've got. Anki says Seagrist can get playing time. Off field antics. Who's chasing the birds? Chasing the birds because his birds down in Australia. Oh, is that is he doing that? Is he? I never heard that one. I've never rated Baines' shot. No, neither have I. To be honest, let's hope it's James Gregg is just trying to throw the cat amongst the pigeons tonight. I think. Right, Benji Seagrist. He's 31-year-old. Yes, 31-year-old. He's younger than Scott Bain, isn't he? Because Scott Bain's He's going to be a decent age as well. But the fact that he's slipped down to third, anyway, who cares? Who cares? Let me see if there's any other Celtic news kicking about. Right, let's talk about the game tomorrow. Ben's at a bottle. Ben Doak has probably tripled his weight. Yes, he is. Yeah, exactly. Big Red. It's not the fact that he's tripled. He didn't go for the money. He went because the Liverpool manager told him that he would actually put him into the first team, and he would have him training with the first team. And if he was good enough, he would get his chance. Celtic, on the other hand, Celtic said to him, "No, we're going to keep you in the B team, and we're going to keep you playing low league." Nonsense. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Do you know, if he's young enough and good enough, get him in the first team. We've done it before. We've done it loads of times before. Anyway, let's move on from that. Good luck with Doak. Don't hate because he might come back like Brendan. Not a chance. Not a chance. Scott Bain played a blinder at Ibrox in his first game for us. How long ago was that for? There ain't a better Scottish league, keeper in this league. I don't think there's any. I was trying to look for Scottish keepers today, and there's not any decent keepers playing at a high enough level to come to Celtic. This is the problem. Right, what do you think the score will be tomorrow? I've not even got my see because we've moved. I've not even got my notepad that had all my scores in. Where is it? Oh. Sunday will be the day that we get everything sorted. And what happened to Angus Gunn? Who knows? There should be a pathway explained to the kids and how they get there. Big Red, there is a pathway explained to the kids, and it tends to be that they'll get to a certain level in the B team, and then rather than go straight into Celtic, they get put out on loan for a season. Now, there's a few Celtic players that were on the verge of being in there. My thinking behind it is if they're good enough to go out on loan, I can understand why they get put on loan because then they go from playing uh, youth level football to going out and playing against men, right? But if they're good enough, keep them in the team. Keep them in the team. Keep them in the team and bring them in gradually. Better bringing a young player on for the last 10 minutes of a game, um, 2 or 3 times a month to get them in, get them. You know, when we're winning comfortably, say, right, you can bring a player on, a young player on, when we're playing nice and comfortable. We've done it in the past, and just get them a feel for the ball. Let's see how they progress then, and give them that little bit of confidence. That playing 10 minutes on the pitch, playing for the first team, will give them way more confidence than going to the likes of any other team in a lower league and playing for 90 minutes. Although they'll gain the little bit of experience, but are they getting the way that Celtic see it also is they're getting a football education. The education has to be right, Brendan said. Anyway, right. And the media are talking more pish. Yes, they are that about Matt O'Reilly. Wishful thinking on their half. Yeah, the media. Another clean sheet tomorrow. Right, let's get your score lines in for tomorrow. A 3-4-1 and a confidence attack. What do you think your teams will be tomorrow? I think the team's pretty easy for tomorrow. What do you think the scoreline will be? My prediction scorelines have been absolutely rank rotten over the last 3 or 4 games. I think there was only one game that I got close to it. Like Red says, we need to bring reserves back no matter the cost. Ralston's versus Neymar, remember that? Yes, I do. Like, never mind that. Get your predictions in for the score lines for tomorrow. And I'll try and find my notepad. 2-0, says Paul Emery. 2-0 to us. A lot of people are going with 2-0. Let me just do this. And because Motherwell are sitting. Motherwell have got quite a good home record this year, haven't they? Because no, they've played more away. Let me just double check. Motherwell are sitting in fourth. I was right. They've played 2 at home. They've won 2 at home. They've lost 1. We've got a goal difference of 4 games away. We've won 1, drawn 1, lost 1. Goal difference 2. Nah, we'll beat them. We'll definitely beat Motherwell tomorrow. We always win at Motherwell. And the one thing about Motherwell is it's got that weird pitch. on the stand behind the goals, the pitch is actually at an angle like that. It's crazy. Right, let's get back. 4-1, 4-1, 3-1, all over it. Monty says, Bain, write it down. I'm trying to find my notepad. Well, I'll write it on this notepad. This isn't the right notepad. Right, I'll use this one. Motherwell are fourth, yep. Said that. 3-1, Bain on goal. Don't. If Bain, oh, Jesus, could you imagine? Could you imagine? What happened to Wee Dumbelly? Wee Dumbelly thought he was better than what he was, and he's still 5'2", and I think he's at Blackpool. He left Celtic because he thought he was going to be better than he was. I think Celtic were hoping that he was maybe going to grow a few inches, but I think he's still 5'2", and he's playing at Blackpool. 4-2. Do you really think that we're going to? We've had quite a good. The back line has defensively, we've had a lot of clean sheets. So do you really think that we're going to concede tomorrow? Being on goal, 3-1 says Danny. Uh, like I said, I like to see something differently. Write it down, says Peter. 4-3-1, 4-1, 4-2, 4-1. Where are you getting these crazy predictions from? I can't see them scoring tomorrow. When you look at the performance, lucky Motherwell unlucky last weekend, and that man. When you look 3-2, and a fun evening on Celtic Twitter. Celtic Twitter goes into a complete meltdown sometimes, doesn't it? I've kind of stayed off of it. 3-0, Baz says John. 6-1 says Monty. Do you really think that they're going to score? I don't think so. Start sticking a fiver on the goal to score in the next Champions League when it was past 90 minutes. That's an interesting one. Miller are in good form. 2-0 will be a good win. I think 2-0. I think it's got 2-0 written all over it. We're going to beat them by at least 3, says Peter. 6-1 says something today. He's taller than a Abada. Yep. He's 3'1". Absolutely. Says Helen, 1-0 to us, a tight match. They're well organised. I would go with Bain own goal 100%. Oh, come on, Monty. Come on. I'm going to get me with that kind of nonsense saying that out loud. Jason Starrock in black. 3-2. 3-2. Right there, Lanky's coming to his team. Bain, Alistair Johnson, Gustav, Scales, Taylor, Calmack, Rio, Mattarelli, Yang, Kyogo, and Dyson. I think you're pretty spot on with that. Although I think Yang might get dropped tomorrow, I'm not sure. O'Reilly will get more than 20 goals this season. Yes, I think that's so too. To Koke. Blackpool is his level, says Peter King. It's going to be 4-0 for the boys tomorrow. 3-1. And Bean is in goals. Chelpel 3-0. Got with the wine and voice bars. Jesus, come on. Come on. No way we were letting in the 2 goals. No, I don't think so. Either Baines in goal. Lanky 4-2. Baz, fortunately, had your wheat a bit. John. Hugh Keevins is funnier than Kevin Bridges without the humour. And there you have it. 4-0 Palma to score. I think Palma might get the start tomorrow ahead of Yang, personally. But you never know. You never know. We're going to win by at least 3. We're going to give someone a batter in. It's Georges. Yes, I think Paul Emery. It's all to do with defensive injuries. We've done well. I don't think we've conceded. With all the defensive injuries, we've had how many games now where we've had clean sheets? For that reason and that reason alone, why does everyone get Motherwell a goal? It was the game's not even started. Exactly. I can't see. If Baines, just a win, please. It's penalty to Motherwell. Oh, interesting one. Will Celtic get a player sent off tomorrow? How many of you are going to put a bet on Celtic to get a player sent off? So Celtic to get a player sent off tomorrow again. Away stand only Benji, Lager, Alistair Johnston, Phillips. I don't think Phillips will play tomorrow. I think it'll be next week before Phillips starts. And he's coming back with that ankle. You need to make sure he's 100%. Calmark, O'Reilly, Palmer, Dyson, and Kyogo, says James. All expect Ross County, Lanky. Never underestimate Motherwell. They're on a good run. I don't think. Do you think so? Watch out for Miller in the midfield, says Lanky. Um, why don't we just start with 9 players? Oh, geez. Remember when we couldn't win without exactly, Ian. How many games did we lose when Cameron Carter Vickers and Carol Starfelt didn't play together? And then what time were we kicking off podcast? Ramora. I'm working, so I'm looking time to escape and no finishing. The 11. I'll probably do one first thing in the morning, maybe, but then I'll do one. It'll probably take me about 25 minutes after the game. So about 25, say about half an hour after the game's finished tomorrow, we'll do a live. We'll talk about the game, see how good or how bad it was because of the result. But hopefully, we'll still be top of the league. Looking down at the Rangers, we've been on for 56 minutes. We need to be up for it tomorrow. Motherwell are a decent team. They are a decent team, but if you look at the league, you would think that Aberdeen would be a decent team. Aberdeen, if St Johnstone get a result tomorrow, um, Aberdeen could be. Well, they're not going to be because St Johnstone's on -8. So Aberdeen are at 11th position. Why they not? They usually sack managers for being less than that. Hearts are in 6th. The fact that St Mirren are in 2nd and Motherwell are 4th, when you've got, and I've got one. I've still when you've got the likes of Hibs and Hearts in 5th and 6th. I mean, I thought Hibs had a really bad start to the season, but they seem to have crawled up the table. I mean, Aberdeen are just having a nightmare. Livingston as well. I mean, Livingston are in 10th position. A team that we really thought should probably not be in that position. Kilmarnock beat us, but never mind. That was just a cup game. That was just a cup. Right, let's get some more comments in before. Right, I've not put my result down yet. I'm going to go for 2-0 Celtic, and I think they'll score the 2 goals in the. I'm going to put it down at time. 35 minutes and 67 minutes. So I'm even putting my times down. Going to put 2 goals. First goal will be scored on the 31st minute, 35th minute, and the second goal will be scored on the 67th minute. Right. Paul Emery gets a pass. Well, Dyson will score a captain tomorrow with his knee. Rio, 4 goals. Rio, 4 goals. At least we have Willie Collum fit. Am I going to miss the game? No, I'm not going to miss the game. I am going to be down at the Hoops Bar. So I'm going to go to a different pub tomorrow. I'm going to go to the Hoops Bar. There is another bar that I want to go to watch a couple of games also. And they have a fantastic. The bars that I'm going to be going to now are bars that do run Celtic supporters clubs over here. So I might do some lives from them also. Aberdeen done okay at Frankfurt. Yep. Barry Robson against the Zombies in it. This is true. 7 point comes up tomorrow. Lindsay Greenwood says, have a few bye for now, boys and girls. Yep. I think the Sheep will get a result tomorrow. I think see if they get a draw. But when that John Shirley. When does your off license shut? You're a carry out. I don't know. I don't know when it shuts. Never shuts. Never shuts. Right. Rufus injured. So he's got the sheep on the coupon. Says Lanky. He's got the sheep on the coupon to win tomorrow. If they win at Ibrox, there'll be complete and utter meltdown. If they win Ibrox, we'll do a live after the game. And if the result goes the right way, Stuart Perry, I'll be tomorrow too. I was going to say hello. Stuart, we just made our mind up about the pub about 10 minutes ago. We'll see. We'll see. It's not in stone yet. I might pop down to Paddy's. We'll see. Barry Robson to score a hat trick, Forrest assist and a goal tomorrow. I think it could be a good shout. But Forrest getting back on. Right. Thank goodness for IPTV. Sevco fans tomorrow. Boo, boo, boo. If the results go the right way tomorrow, right, we'll do the live half an hour after the game. We'll do the video first thing in the morning. We'll do a live after the game. If the results go the right way tomorrow, we'll do it live after full time at 5 o'clock Celtic Park time. See you in George Square if they lose, Baz. Right, it's been absolutely fantastic. We've been on for 1 hour exactly. And it's time to call it quits. Get a beer, go and chill out. That's what I'm about to do. Have a fantastic evening wherever you are watching around the world. Make sure that you subscribe for the next one. On that note, have a